Welcome to the first public open house for the 10th and 11th Street Viaduct Replacement Major Investment Study. The mission of the South Dakota Department of Transportation is to efficiently provide a safe and effective public transportation system. Additional information on the DOT's mission and vision is provided on their website at dot.sd.gov. The purpose of today's meeting is to introduce the study, to provide study background information highlighting planning efforts completed to date and the baseline conditions analysis, to present the draft purpose and need, and to gather public and stakeholder feedback. No concepts have been developed at this point, and your input will aid the study team in developing preliminary conceptual layouts for the 10th and 11th Street Viaduct as part of the next phase of the study. The following 5 slides provide a quick overview of the study. Please refer to the study handout and website for additional information. The study website is located at www.1011viaductstudy.com. This website will be updated throughout the course of the study with announcements, meeting materials, and study deliverables. Everything being presented at this public meeting open house is available on the study website, which includes the informational handout, display boards, a recording of this presentation, and the opportunity to submit comments or questions directly to the study team. As lead agency of the study, the South Dakota Department of Transportation organized a study advisory team to provide feedback and guidance at key study milestones. This study advisory team is made up of representatives from the South Dakota Department of Transportation, City of Sioux Falls Metropolitan Planning Organization, and Federal Highway Administration. The study area focuses on the 10th and 11th Street corridor between Minnesota Avenue and Cliff Avenue, which includes the viaduct located between 2nd Avenue and Franklin Avenue. The study area also extends to the north to 8th Street and to the south to 14th Street. The primary objective of this study is to identify and evaluate concepts to replace the 10th and 11th Street viaduct bridges and determine recommendations. Supporting objectives include identifying transportation issues and needs for the 10th Street and 11th Street corridors, developing feasible solutions to address those identified issues and needs, engaging the public and stakeholders, and creating final products for the South Dakota Department of Transportation and City of Sioux Falls, which will guide implementation of the recommended improvements. The first part of this major investment study is anticipated to include 3 main phases and last approximately 18 months. Phase 1 includes baseline conditions analysis, visioning, and identifying transportation-related issues and needs. Phase 2 includes concept development for the viaduct structures and surrounding local street network, and Phase 3 includes refining those Phase 2 concepts to build alternatives, evaluating those build alternatives, and developing recommendations. There are 3 main opportunities for public engagement, starting here at the first set of meetings. The second set of meetings will occur at the conclusion of Phase 2 in spring of 2025, where we will present preliminary concepts for your review and feedback. The third set of meetings will occur towards the conclusion of Phase 3 in late fall 2025, where we will present refined build alternatives and preliminary recommendations. Environmental screening runs throughout the first part of the study. Following completion and acceptance of the environmental screening report, the study will move into more detailed environmental analysis in 2026. The following several slides will present background study information regarding the existing structures, a recently completed Sioux Falls downtown traffic impact study, input the Sioux Falls MPO has received regarding regional transportation planning needs and priorities, and findings from this study's baseline conditions analysis. The westbound 10th Street Viaduct Bridge was constructed in 1930, is the oldest of the 3 structures, and extends approximately 884 feet. Just to the west, the considerably shorter 10th Street Bridge over the Big Sioux River was constructed in 1934. The eastbound 11th Street Bridge was constructed in 1971 and is the longest of the viaduct structures at 1,578 feet. While jurisdiction of South Dakota Highway 42 was turned over to the City of Sioux Falls within city limits in 2006, the South Dakota Department of Transportation is still responsible for the cost of replacing these viaduct structures. The westbound 10th Street Viaduct structure is tentatively programmed for replacement starting in 2032. The eastbound 11th Street Viaduct structure is currently recommended for replacement starting in 2036. Following replacement, these structures will be the responsibility of the City of Sioux Falls moving forward. To help prepare for this major investment study, the City of Sioux Falls conducted a downtown traffic impact study to better understand downtown area traffic patterns and the benefits and drawbacks of various modifications to the downtown street network. The study consisted of 3 phases, starting with a big picture regional perspective on traffic patterns and the importance of east-west corridors through the heart of Sioux Falls. Phase 2 and Phase 3 incrementally narrowed this focus down to a detailed analysis of the downtown area and then again to just the 10th and 11th Street corridor. Each of these 3 phases utilized traffic forecasts developed from the Sioux Falls Travel Demand Model, which accounts for expected development, redevelopment, and traffic growth over the next 25 years. One of the overarching key findings of the downtown TIS is that there is very strong demand for vehicular travel to and through the downtown area. Traffic wants to travel to downtown, and traffic wants to use the 10th and 11th Street as an east-west route through the heart of Sioux Falls. Maintaining this east-west traffic is certainly important for the economic vitality of the downtown area as a destination, but also for capturing pass-by or pass-through traffic opportunities. The east-west traffic demand is a key theme that resonates across all 3 phases of the downtown TIS and must be considered when talking about both local and more regional type traffic patterns and the potential impacts reducing capacity on the 10th 11th Street corridor might have on the corridor itself and to other east-west corridors. As part of the study's first phase, the Sioux Falls MPO travel demand model is used to analyze scenarios that could enhance east-west arterial connectivity. These scenarios included a combination of potential connections, such as a Benson Road extension between Sycamore Avenue and Rice Street near Veterans Parkway, a Russell Street extension across the Big Sioux River to Rice Street in the Falls Park area, and a Falls Park Drive extension west of Minnesota Avenue. It was found that traffic certainly wanted to use these new connections within the travel demand model. However, as traffic shifted off of 10th and 11th Street to these improved east-west corridors, other traffic ended up backfilling this void, and the overall 10th and 11th Street traffic volumes remained relatively unchanged. Both Phase 1 and Phase 2 investigated the question of what happens if capacity is reduced on 10th and 11th Street through downtown. One scenario included reducing the number of lanes on the 10th and 11th Street one-way pair from 3 lanes in each direction to 2 lanes in each direction west of Franklin Avenue. A second scenario converted the existing one-way pair to 2 two-way streets. For example, one option would be where 10th Street serves as the main route with 2 lanes in each direction plus turn lanes, and 11th Street would function more as a local two-way street. The downtown TIS found that due to strong demand for travel to and through downtown, reducing capacity on 10th and 11th Street would divert traffic to other east-west corridors such as 6th Street, 8th Street, 14th Street, and beyond. So not only would operations on 10th and 11th Street become problematic due to less capacity on the high-demand corridor, but the subsequent diversion of traffic off of 10th and 11th Street to other east-west corridors would adversely impact those adjacent corridors as they are not geared for the higher volumes. As part of Phases 2 and 3, the downtown TIS also analyzed 3 different alignment options for the future viaducts. This was primarily an assessment of traffic operations at the tie-in intersections of 2nd Avenue and Franklin Avenue. The first alignment option is a separate alignment, which essentially reflects what is out there today. 2 new alignment options, a north alignment and a south alignment, bring eastbound and westbound lanes together and tie into 2nd Avenue at a single intersection before splitting back to the one-way pair west of 2nd Avenue. It was found that traffic operations were acceptable with the separate and northern alignment options, with the separate alignment performing the best at the 2nd Avenue intersections. The southern alignment was problematic due to conflicting turn movements and geometric impacts to Faywick Park, and was thus eliminated from further consideration within the downtown TIS. And finally, based on the analysis findings and discussions with City of Sioux Falls staff, the downtown TIS recommends that the existing capacity be maintained for traffic on the viaduct and adjacent intersections by providing 3 lanes in each direction through the downtown area in maintaining the one-way pair between Minnesota Avenue and the viaduct. These recommendations have been carried forward for further consideration as part of this major investment study. The downtown TIS recommendation supports a consistent overarching theme for improved east-west routes as indicated by residents and employers in the Sioux Falls MPO area. Every 5 years, the Sioux Falls MPO develops a long-range metropolitan transportation plan to guide transportation-related improvements throughout the metropolitan area. As part of those plans, the MPO conducts a statistically significant market survey of residents and employers. In the latest survey, east-west traffic flow was again a top concern amongst the resident and employer survey responses. In the questions of top priority for transportation improvements and top transportation improvement respondents were most willing to fund, the number one response was improving east-west roads in Sioux Falls. When looking at specific improvements, the top roadway priority for residents was East 10th Street and South Dakota Highway 42. The 10th, 11th, 12th Street corridor provides a vital role in east-west connectivity through the heart of Sioux Falls as the lone continuous east-west corridor between 60th Street North and 57th Street. And now shifting back to the Viaduct Major Investment Study, the public open house includes a number of display boards that provide information on the baseline conditions analysis. Daily traffic volumes developed for the study include both existing and future year conditions. The existing volumes shown on the daily volume board are based on traffic counts collected by the City of Sioux Falls over the last few years. Future year volumes reflect a 2060 planning horizon that accounts for approximately 35 years of development and traffic growth throughout the Sioux Falls metropolitan area. These traffic forecasts were developed using the Sioux Falls Travel Demand Model that is revised as part of each Sioux Falls MPO Metropolitan Transportation Plan update. Existing daily traffic volumes vary throughout the 10th 11th Street study corridor. Currently, daily volumes across the viaduct bridges are approximately 12,000 vehicles per day in each direction, for a combined total of approximately 24,000 vehicles. The year 2060 planned horizon forecasts reflect approximately 55 to 75% growth in traffic over the next 35 years due to expected development in the downtown area and throughout Sioux Falls. This equates to approximately 20,000 vehicles per day in each direction across the viaduct for a combined two-way volume of 40,000 vehicles per day. Traffic operations were analyzed to study intersections to identify potential long-range operational issues. Using the existing lane configurations and 2060 planning horizon traffic volumes, the lone long-range operational need occurs at the 10th Street and Cliff Avenue intersection as identified by the level serves F in the morning and afternoon peak hours. So while the 2060 no-build condition analysis shows nearly all study intersections are expected to operate adequately well into the future, the results highlight the underlying importance of maintaining capacity on the 10th and 11th Street corridor and across the viaduct. Maintaining this capacity not only benefits the 10th and 11th Street corridor, but also the adjacent corridors that would otherwise be adversely impacted by diverted traffic from 10th and 11th Street. There's also a series of boards related to crash history within the study area, looking at reported crashes between the years 2019 and 2023. These boards include an overview of crash density to help identify high-frequency locations, locations that have higher propensity for injury-type crashes, and elevated crash areas when considering crash rates that account for frequency and traffic volumes. This information allows the study team to incorporate mitigation measures to address correctable crash issues. As part of this study, we'll take a close look at the potential for environmental impacts as we develop options for the 10th 11th Street bridges. The review will include several natural, cultural, and social resources. For example, we know that the area has several recreational properties that are subject to Section 4F and Section 6F review. Section 4F stipulates that Federal Highway Administration must consider publicly owned recreational properties as part of their projects and consider alternatives that least harm to these properties. Section 6F evaluation pertains to recreational properties that receive land and water conservation funds, and impacts to those properties must be reviewed by National Park Service. In addition, we know that part of the Sioux Falls downtown area has been designated as a historic district, and we want to consider any impacts the project may have to the district. We also know that the riverbank area has a history of contaminated sites with an old gas plant and battery cracking plant and the old rail yard. We will look closely at the potential for encountering contamination during construction for alternatives. Under NEPA, we are required to define the purpose and needs of the project, which will be used as a basis for selecting alternatives. The purpose explains the problem that is to be solved by the project, while the need elements include the data that substantiates that problem. This purpose and need statement explains to decision makers, the public, and stakeholders why the project should be implemented. We are looking for your feedback on the following draft purpose and need statement for the proposed project. Project purpose is to address the deteriorating condition and increasing maintenance costs of the 10th and 11th Street structures while accommodating east-west traffic over the Big Sioux River and BNSF Railroad. The project will consider the City of Sioux Falls and Sioux Falls MPO's transportation plans for the area. The project needs include deteriorating structure condition, increasing maintenance costs, geometric deficiencies, and transportation system linkage. And finally, before we conclude the presentation, we'd like to re-emphasize that we are looking for your input to aid the study team in developing preliminary conceptual layouts for the 10th and 11th Street Viaduct. Examples of what we're looking for include answering the following questions. What is your top concern with the existing layout of the bridges or when traveling in the area? What features do you feel are important to include in the design of the new viaduct structures? Are there other important needs that haven't been considered by the draft purpose and need? There are several methods to provide feedback, including submitting a comment card during or after the public meeting open house, providing comments to a markup map at the open house or on the study website, completing the short 2-question viaduct survey, or submitting comments through the study website or directly to one of the study contacts. The main thing is now is the time to let us know your thoughts on the viaduct before we start developing concepts. And with that, we would like to thank you for your interest in the 10th and 11th Street Viaduct Major Investment Study. We would appreciate comments by Friday, December 20th, 2024 to allow the study team to move efficiently to the second phase of the study and begin developing concepts. We'll be back in spring of 2025 to present those preliminary concepts for your review and feedback. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the study contacts, Katrina Burkhardt with the South Dakota Department of Transportation, Shannon Austin with City of Sioux Falls, or John Wigan with HDR, or submit a question through the study website at www.1011viaductstudy.com. Thank you.